Today, a unique sauropod locks in battle with a pair of carnivores with claws for hands. It's a question of club tail versus claws. Coming up, Shunosaurus versus Maip duo. Let's talk about Shunosaurus. The Shunosaurus species that will participate in this battle is the largest, Shunosaurus gigantiensis, weighing 10 tons, measuring 6 meters in length and standing 5 meters tall at the head. This is a member of the family Kentrosauridae, which is part of Sauropoda that lived from 161 to 157 million years ago during the Oxfordian stage of the late Jurassic period. Sure, Shunosaurus isn't a big sauropod, but it is a very extraordinary one because of some features it possesses that other sauropods don't that we will soon talk about. This animal also starred in a very popular paleo-documentary series called Dinosaur Revolution. With animals like Shunosaurus, Asia is truly home to the bizarre and wonderful. The other competitors are Maip. Maip macrothorax is the only species, weighing 5 tons, measuring 9 to 10 meters in length, and standing 2.7 meters tall. With such a size, this makes the Maip the largest of its family, Megaraptoridae and Megaraptora. This megatheropod lived during the Maastrichtian stage of the late Cretaceous, and they were the claws at that time. It too starred in the popular paleo documentary series in the second season of Amazing Dino World. There's a pack in the show, and the leader is like the Kratos of the Cretaceous. I'm serious. They were beating the shit out of a Noah Titan like 20 times their size or something. They're actually insane. Sorry for the spoiler unless you already watched it. Anyways, Megaraptorans are unique as well and very underrated. They're incredible. Now let's talk about their weapons, attack, and defense methods. Starting with Shunosaurus. Shunosaurus is very different aside other sauropods because of its famous club tail. The tail is likely to swing more than 2,000 newtons per second, and even possesses 2 successive spikes formed by cone-shaped osteoderms reaching lengths of 5 centimeters. Given how powerful and fast the Shunosaurus tail club is, it could probably snap the neck of the Maip at the least, and rip its head clean off its shoulders at the most. This is not the only weapon that Shunosaurus possesses. Despite being smaller than most sauropods, Shunosaurus can still stand on its hind legs and crush. It also has a short neck, which was robust, perfect for slamming onto its opponent. A defense method that Shunosaurus could use is by turning its back on the opponent and start swinging their tail to keep them out of range, and they will receive a painful blow if they get too close. Shunosaurus will have to be very careful when facing these opponents, because Maip, on the other hand, is no joke when it comes to combat. These giants possess massive sickle-like claws as its main weapon, which can easily tear through a sauropod's hide. The Maip's serrated teeth could also come in handy when they are grappling onto their victim. And let's not forget that this is a pair of Maip, so there's 2 mouths and 4 claws Shunosaurus has to deal with. A good attack method is by both carnivores moving to different directions while the Shunosaurus is distracted, dealing with one, and the other Maip can inflict damage by grappling onto the Shunosaurus, slashing them and sinking their teeth in. Then the other can attack. Next up, they're bailed. Starting with Shunosaurus once again. Shunosaurus may not be the 30th largest land animals of all time. It's not even on the list, but for an animal its size, this is a very robust animal. Like most sauropods, Shunosaurus does have a tough hide and represents a good amount of bulk, which can help the giant herbivore withstand some heavy damage. And remember that the short neck of the Shunosaurus can withstand the impact when smashing it against its opponents. Maip has a good build for an animal its size as well. Back in 2019, when Maip was first discovered, some remains included the gastralia and a few ribs. We were able to sort out the width of the ribcage, measuring about 120 centimeters, and the gastralia is in a slightly low position, representing a great amount of bulk for an animal its size, and making the Maip capable of withstanding some blows, although not too heavy. Next up, their experience. Shunosaurus in its time dealt with predators like Sinraptor and Gasosaurus. They would have dealt with the larger predators of the Jurassic, like Shunosaurus, most of the time, since they were more of a match and more likely to attack an adult Shunosaurus. I'm not going to be including adult Mamenchosaurus because these theropods will leave them alone since they're too big to deal with. Given how big and powerful Shunosaurus is, these carnivores would have been clapped. They even wouldn't stand a chance together. Like, even two Yanchuanosaurus would fail most of the time to bring down the Shunosaurus. However, like Yanchuanosaurus, Maip too is a sauropod hunter, about 1.6 times bigger. They even hunted larger sauropods like Nullitider. The presence of large herbivores is also the meaning of the presence of large carnivores. Now, Nullitider and Maip are good examples of giant predator and giant prey relationships. Next, there's speed and agility. Shunosaurus, like every other sauropod, is not fast at the slightest. It is given speed estimates of 5 miles per hour, maybe slower. Now, I am unsure if it's agility, so sorry again. People have given speed estimates of 24 miles per hour for Maip, with animals similar to this long-clawed beauty and size. Now, the Maip is an agile animal, being able to leap pretty high for an animal its size, but not as agile as it was in the second season of Amazing Dino World, where their agility was insane. Not saying Amazing Dino World is bad though, I really love that show. Now, anyways, on to the recap. Alright, Shunosaurus is larger, has a club tail, the ability to kick, stand up on its hind legs, crush their opponent in their possession, is more robust, has a thick hide, and more experience it dealt with multiple carnivores. While Maip had one sauropod to attack, Shunosaurus and its predators dealt with each other more of the time than Maip, since it's like, I think, 3 carnivores, maybe more, that dealt with the Shunosaurus. Like, Shunosaurus would have dealt with like 25 carnivores in like its adulthood or something. I'm not sure. But you know what I mean. Maip, on the other hand, has a dangerous bite, lethal claws, speed, maybe agility, and intelligence on their side, along with numbers, since this is a pair of Maip that will participate in this battle, like I said. Now, with everything settled, the wait is finally over, and the fight shall now commence. Shunosaurus versus Maip duo. So, let us begin. A lone Shunosaurus hangs around the forest and feeds on the rich vegetation. Little do they realize they're being watched. The Shunosaurus senses incoming danger, turns around to see a Maip, and just in time before the predator could successfully ambush them. The Maip quickly stops when the Shunosaurus spots them and hisses. The Shunosaurus hisses back, and it begins to pound to the ground with its feet, and it starts to swing its neck as a way to intimidate the predator. If the Maip is not deterred, the Shunosaurus will show off its tail club. However, the Shunosaurus does not realize that this is all a setup. This is not just one Maip that it has to deal with. Before it even realizes it, suddenly, out of the brush, another Maip strikes behind the Shunosaurus and sinks its teeth and slashes one of its hind legs with its claws. The Shunosaurus then lashes out in pain, and instantly hits the Maip with its tail in an instant. And the Maip is sent 9 feet into the air. The fight has begun. The other Maip charges and slashes the Shunosaurus and manages to dodge the tail club. The Shunosaurus turns around and begins to stand on its hind legs and pound the ground as a way to keep the two Maip away. Both carnivores are not deterred. They charge. The Shunosaurus charges as well and slams its neck onto one of the Maip. The other Maip manages to jump onto the Shunosaurus and slashes it with its claws before falling to the ground and getting back up. The Shunosaurus then swings its tail club directly onto the Maip. The Maip reacts as fast as it can, but it's too late. The Maip hits the ground, but still alive. However, it has broken ribs and legs. It lays stunned for a few seconds before getting back up and retreating with its partner. It is certain it will never hunt a sauropod again. The Shunosaurus is once again in peace, but left with some minor wounds. Luckily, the Shunosaurus is very likely to live to see another day. In this scenario, the Shunosaurus stands victorious thanks to its thick hide and build, which reduced the damage of the attacks of the pair of Maip, and its tail club, which fended them off and hit one of them, causing the pair to retreat. Despite the Maip having sauropods on its diet, sauropods are the hardest animals to take on, even a sauropod like Shunosaurus. Now, I would give this 70% to the Shunosaurus and a 30% to the Maip pair. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video that most of you have been waiting for. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next